All right, can you hear me now?
Oh, look at
All
that.
right. Yeah, there was a but I had to go to my settings on my phone and do it.
All right. Well, we've yeah, and I've never done it on my phone, so I was
Yeah,
like,
I've never done it either on my phone. I've always done it on an actual computer or laptop.
yeah, yeah. So I'm glad we got this figured out. And I think maybe are you where you are in Tennessee? Is it
Yes.
are you in Central Time?
Yes.
That's what it is then. See, so 5 o'clock
Yeah.
Eastern is 4 o'clock Central. I didn't realize that.
Right. Well, I didn't either. That's why I was like, wait a minute. And then it finally dawned on me. I was like, he's an hour ahead.
Then that it all makes sense now. That's just oh my gosh. So you're my third Zoom. I'm back to back to back. Third or fourth? No, third. Yeah. Um, so I'm going to tell you a couple of things. So one is I've written a word in here, and I've gotten the idea. You can look it up on YouTube if you don't know the reference I'm going to give you. But there's a show. I'm a big Marx Brothers fan, and in the 1950s, Groucho Marx, after the brothers had stopped making movies, he had a television show called You Bet Your Life. And in every show, he'd have contestants who would talk to him. And if they said the secret word, the duck with the big black mustache and the cigar in its mouth and everything would drop down from the ceiling holding the word. So I've written down an everyday word in this envelope, and I hope I hope I'll remember to tell you what it is at the end of the Zoom if you don't say it. If you do say it, you get a highly rare collectible. Like, well, just very super rare collectible. So no one has said it yet. I've done 11 Zooms and no one has said it yet. So who knows? You might just say it. And then the other thing is, we will probably be visited by a surprise guest.
Okay.
That's the other thing I want to do as part of the, the VIP membership thing.
Right. I
Okay.
think it's kind of cool that you're doing this.
Well, thank you. Well, it's something we've been thinking about a long time. So I'm curious. I thought I had your card pulled up here. I'm a little bit disorganized here. I should be a little bit ready. I'm not. Like I said, I've been doing one after the other after the other. So okay,
Right.
I will ask you because I've been asking most of the VIPs so far if you've gotten this issue and then you've got
Uh,
this. This is the summer one from this year.
yeah, I think I'll have to look because I look at them and I throw them all in a drawer. I think I
Oh, okay.
did.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
That's the most recent?
Yes, I did get that one.
Okay. And then, of course, did you look at the PDF that I sent
Yes,
you? Okay.
yes, I did.
Okay. What did you enjoy about that era, that information that came in the PDF and in the fall issue?
Oh, the PDF there's more more information that I didn't know that I try to keep up with the current stuff and what's going on, and
Hmm.
it's kind of hard to do because they don't do a lot of a lot of interviews and stuff anymore. Uh, but some stuff I'm already aware of, and other stuff I'm not.
Sure, sure. What do you remember about first discovering the Beach Boys? What was do you remember when you first discovered them?
Oh yeah, I remember that. I remember my first ever concert. um, so it was 1995. I was a junior in high school. Um, we were going to. I was in the band, so we're going to Disney World uh, to play in the parade,
Oh,
and
okay.
somebody had I think it was a CD. Yeah, it was CDs back then. So it was a CD of Endless Summer. um, so that was my first introduction to to the Beach Boys. And I think after I think the first song I heard was, I think, Surfing Safari.
Okay.
And then maybe, I can't remember. It was either Surfing Safari, California Girls, or I Get Around. One of those three. But after those, I was hooked. uh, and then my first ever concert was in '96 at Fanfare.
Oh, no kidding. I was there.
And so yeah, that was my first ever concert, and, and they were all there, with the exception of Dennis.
Yep.
I remember, Brian. I think he played keyboards.
I believe so.
Then
Yes. Yeah.
I remember him, walking back and forth, all the way across the stage, walking back and forth off. I remember that. I remember that part. And then the Stars and Stripes album came out.
Yeah.
So I got that, and then I looked, and I know I've got one, but I don't know where it's at now. I've got I bought the CD, so I opened the CD up, and whoever the photographer was that time, they took a picture of the crowd from the stage, and you can look in that CD book, and you can see me in the crowd.
Oh, okay. No kidding. I'll have to get that's good. That's pretty cool to be a part of that history. That's neat. Yeah, that was a special show. It was different because they did it with the country artists, but
Right.
it was still so interesting because, like you say, everybody was there except Dennis because he had passed by then. But that was a really special, memorable day. They even had Fred Vale there. Fred Vale
Right.
came out and introduced him, I think. Yeah, that was a really special. Now, the only person who, well, no, there was two people there who I wish had been there, and that was Willie Nelson and Timothy B. Schmidt because they sang on the Stars and Stripes album.
Right. Right.
Backstage, I did meet Rodney Crowell, and they were planning to do a volume 2. And Rodney had told me that he was doing, I think, Sail on Sailor, that he was going to be doing Sail on Sailor, and a slow version of California Saga was written and re-recorded by Al to give to I want to say Merle Haggard. So that's why it's called Stars and Stripes Volume 1. They were planning to do a Volume 2.
Right. I remember I remember seeing something about a volume 2, but yeah, nothing ever came of it. I'm
Yeah,
sure. I don't know if they actually went in and recorded it, or it just never happened.
mm-hmm. Yeah, I can't. I'm trying to remember what the circumstances were, but Brian ended up he did In My Room with Tammy Wynette. That was a part
Right.
of that, and that turned up on Tammy Wynette's collection after she passed away, which I thought turned out really lovely.
Right. Yeah, I've heard that. Um, that whole album. I don't. A lot of people don't like that album. Um, I like it because I think, I don't know if it's their their harmonies sound, I guess stronger is the word I'm looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it just has that sound to it.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, is this Paul?
Yes.
This is, yeah, yes, it is Paul Randell Kirsch.
Very nice to
Hey.
see you, Paul.
Hey, nice to meet you.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Paul's in Tennessee.
Yeah, I heard it. I heard it in your voice. Paul, how close are you to Nashville?
I am. It probably take me about 30 minutes to get there.
Oh wow, nice and
No
close.
kidding. Are you a musician?
No, I'm not.
Nashville's a good place to be a musician, I hear.
Yeah, it is.
Right on. Is this your house?
Yes.
Show us around. What does it look like?
All right. Well, this is the bedroom. And then I have my living room out here.
Uh-huh.
And then there's a whole nother level downstairs.
Do you have any Beach Boys collectibles on the walls or anything like that? Some photos?
Yeah, that's what I was going
I
to ask. Where do you keep your records?
I do. I don't have any. All my records and stuff are put up. But this stuff is my most prized possessions here.
Oh, we gotta see. Oh, there you go. Look at that.
See all that.
Cool.
Yeah, I got random stuff here and there put up, but that that stuff on my wall is my most prized possessions. So
What are they? I just got a glimpse of them. I saw a poster there.
yeah, it's the poster from 2008 when Mike and Bruce were here. And
All right, show me the poster. Can you lower it down a little bit?
Yeah.
Lower the
Oh, okay, Ryman. Oh, there
I
you
was
go.
trying to- at the Ryman Auditorium?
Right.
Yep.
That's you and Jen. Is that you and Stamos on the wall?
It is.
Oh, all right, cool.
I was there at that Ryman Auditorium gig, Paul, and guess who else was there?
Who's that?
Robert Plant from Led Zeppelin.
Oh, really?
He didn't go on stage, but he sat next to my friend's daughters, and they asked him, they didn't recognize him. They asked him to take their picture at the Ryman Auditorium, and he was very gracious and did. That's Mike Campion's daughter. It was
Oh, that's
Kylie
cool.
and Kiana, I think. Kalina
Yeah,
might have been.
That's cool.
Yeah, man.
Really cool.
Yeah, show us the rest of the stuff.
Okay. And then I have this one. This is when they were at the Opry House.
Oh, that was great. That was this last year, right?
Right. Right.
Then they did that. Was that with Low Cash?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
And
I like
then
that.
and then this one was last year. Yeah, last year.
Oh, that's nice too. Zoom in a little bit on that. Or not. Okay, go back a little and go to your right. Right. Oh, there we go. And zoom down a little bit. Oh my gosh. Now that's nice. So you got Stamos to sign that too. Mike and Stamos to sign that.
Right. Right.
That's nice. That's really nice.
Do you frame them yourselves, Paul, or do you have someone frame them for you?
I did. I framed them myself.
Well,
They
you
look
did a
great.
good job on that, man. They look great.
Thanks.
I want you to come over to my house and frame some of the stuff I have on the wall.
Yeah, while you're at it. That's funny.
Hey, Paul, do you remember where you were when you heard a Beach Boys song for the very first time?
Yes, I was. I was telling David I was. It was my junior year in high school, and I was in the band, and we were on a bus on our way to Disney World. We got invited to march in the parade, and then somebody had a CD of Endless Summer.
Right on. That's a great CD, man. That introduced a lot of people to the Beach Boys, including you. Paul, what did you play in the band in high school?
I was percussion.
Oh, right on. Nice. Did you vary between different drum sizes and different instruments, or did you stick with one?
I mainly stuck with cymbals. I marched with cymbals, and then I did bells and stuff also.
Yeah, cymbals were my mom's gig in the marching band in her high school. She's 100 years old now. I wonder if she still knows how to play.
Wow.
I'll have to ask her.
Oh wow, how nice that is that she's still with you.
Yeah, man, we had a party for her, and she wrote a song that we did.
Okay.
Yeah, and I played the song at a gig a few weeks ago, and everybody sang along with it. It's a cool song. Do you still play, Paul? Do you like to play piano?
I don't. I don't. I haven't played anything since high school.
Okay.
Do you have any interest in like playing a drum kit, like a full kit?
I I do. I've thought about it, but I just don't know if I could anymore. I'm sure I could, but
I'll bet you could, man.
I bet so too. My parents were actually in the high school band. My mother played trombone, and my father played the big drum. The banged on the big drum. That's how they
Yeah.
met in junior high school.
oh wow.
Oh, man. Junior high school sweethearts.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
cool.
still together.
I love it. Hey, Paul, how many Beach Boys concerts have you been to in your life, you think?
Uh, let's see. I can't. I know. I know. I've been. I know. I've seen uh Mike and Bruce more than I have Brian. I think
Mhm.
I've been to. I want to say. I think I've been to maybe 4 of Brian shows,
Yeah.
and then I've been to. Yeah, I've lost count of how many Mike and Bruce shows I've been to.
Yeah, a lot of them, huh?
A lot. Yeah.
I thought you looked familiar.
Hey, Randell, he's Paul's got a really interesting thing. He was at the Beach Boys performance in Nashville fanfare and in June of '96. I was there, but Paul has the distinction of being in the group shot in the booklet with this that came with the CD.
Oh, wow. How cool is that, man?
And that was my first ever Beach Boys concert.
How old were you?
I want to say 18, maybe.
Yeah. Man, that's really cool. You got to see him when Carl was still there.
Right, I did.
And Brian was there too that day.
And Brian too.
I've been to several of them when Carl was still alive. But I don't know exactly how many I've been to, but I think my last one, I want to say, if I can remember, I think it was in Charleston, South Carolina.
Hmm.
It was in Hilton Head, I believe. I think that was one of my last ones that I went to that when Carl was still alive.
Yeah. Did he pass away in 97 or 98,
It was
David?
February of '98.
98. That's what it was. Yeah.
It was, and uniquely, he passed on the same day that was actually Brian's first wife's birthday, and was the same day that Brian got married to Melinda.
Oh my gosh.
Huh.
Wow.
Talk about strange coincidences, for those things to align, those three dates to be the same. It's
How
just,
did you hear about his passing, David? I want to hear from Paul too that way.
I heard from Lee Dempsey. I was going over to Lee's house because we were, I can't remember if he said come over or if I was already planning to go over. It was a Saturday, I think. And I think Daniel Rutherford, who's Marilyn's husband
Yeah,
now, had,
Daniel.
had contacted had contacted Lee and told him. And I remember, I mean, it was it's hard to talk about.
Oh man,
He
I'm so
told
sorry.
when he told me, no, it's Carl brought so much joy to the world. I might get a little emotional, but I feel joy in discussing it.
Mhm.
Uh, it felt like I feel like Carl is still here. Um, he certainly is with me through his music, but just hearing it, I remember I went to dinner with my first wife at the time, and it was at dinner that I said to her, it was like Carl's passing actually galvanized what I wanted to do for the Endless Summer Quarterly magazine because of I got to meet Carl a couple of times, and in those meetings, one being backstage at Fanfare, Paul, and it was in those brief intersections where our lives cross paths. He was so giving and present and aware in those meetings that I felt that what he represented, not just as a group member of the Beach Boys, but as a person.
Yeah.
It was very important to me that ESQ, whatever it became going forward, needed to be a carryover of what I got from Carl.
Wow, that's nice.
And
That's a nice vision for that.
and then this is the last. This is Carl wearing a wig. It's not. I mean, it's. This is the last to Paul. I wanted to share this with you and Randell. This is the last time I saw Carl in concert. This is in Raleigh, North Carolina, in June of 1997.
Mm.
And so yeah, just even if you never met him, Paul, when you listen to his voice on the records, the presence that you hear is very much who he was. That's the best way I can tell you if you've never met the guy. He was very special. In fact, Randell, since you're since you're giving me stage for a minute, and Paul, I promise I'll shut up after I share this because it was so important to me. It was backstage at that concert, Paul, the Fanfare concert in June of '96, that I got Carl. I actually did a little brief interview with him about the Stars and Stripes album. Then he went off to his trailer, and then he was leaving and he was crossing. He was going to be going past me again, and I was kicking myself for, I didn't get him to sign my Pet Sounds album. Oh, what, you know. But he was coming in front of me to go to the van, which was easily 10 feet away beyond me. And so I was all ready with my Sharpie. I had my Sharpie and my Pet Sounds album ready. And I said, "Do you mind signing this?" And he said, "No, of course not." Or he said, "Sure." And he signed it and he handed it back to me. And then I'm like this. So I like, oh my gosh, this is so important. And then I finally look up and I say to him, "Thank you, Carl." And by this time, he's easily 10 feet away from me. He's almost to the van. And he completely stops. And he turns all the way around on his heel. And he looks right at me and says, "Thank you, David." And that,
Wow. That's really cool, David.
Yeah.
and
Nice moment.
it's like the scene from Wayne's World when they're doing the "I'm not worthy, I'm not worthy." That's how it felt. But and then when Carl passed, and I did all the interviews with everybody who knew him and everything, it was apparent to me that Carl did that with everybody. That he was present with everyone. He made it a point to make everyone feel loved and special.
That's a really powerful insight, and I agree with that. How about you, Paul? Where were you when you heard that news?
I think I can't remember. I think I heard it on the radio, I believe.
Mm. Yeah. I was at a gig. I was playing a gig just as Randell Kirsch in Hollywood. And in between songs, somebody I knew in the audience came up and let us know. And the band didn't know any of the Beach Boys songs that were Carl vocals. So we did "Don't Worry Baby," just impromptu, just to honor him. And we let the audience know what was up. But it's something that comes to everyone. But when it's that early in someone's life, when they have so much more potential, I don't know. It's always hard when someone gets taken earlier than you think they should be anyway.
Right.
Yeah. I know you already answered these questions for David, but I'm curious about your favorite Beach Boys songs.
I don't really have a favorite song.
Really?
I don't. That to me it's I might go off on something else here. But to me it's not a Brian, Mike, Bruce, Al thing. It's all about the music. It's not, this camp here, this camp here. It's to me, it's about the music.
I love that.
That's right on. Man, that is so right on. And those guys created something all together that it just, how do I explain this? It's like more than the sum of its individual parts, you know, that's a great way to describe it. And they're each great on their own, but I agree with you, Paul. It's like it's not the Bruce show or the Mike show or anybody. It's just like, and Bruce told me this. I mean, he said it's all about the music, you know. And so he agrees with you too. You know, the music is, how did he put it? He said the music is the star of the show. That's how he put it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. You know, and I, you know, it's my opinion, but you know, people all the time are be like, well, you know, we're, you know, Brian this or, you know, Al this, and you know, to me, it's, you know, it's all about the music. Yeah, it's awesome and great, you know, when and if they all get back together, but it's about the music and about the,
Yeah.
you know, about the songs.
Yeah. Are you like, are there any Beach Boys songs that you're actually tired of hearing? Somebody asked me that the other day. That's why I'm asking.
No. There's not any that I'm tired of hearing. Now there is some that I wish that were on streaming services or elsewhere you could get that
Mm.
you can't get anymore.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Like I wish, you know, I wish you could get, for instance, you know, maybe they were talking about Stars and Stripes. I wish you could get that on streaming. Um, Summer in Paradise, and then Still Cruising.
So are those albums not available on streaming services?
Not yet. Not yet.
Wow. Why is that?
I don't know. I don't know if it's a licensing thing or if Iconic has plans with how and when they're going to do it. But to me, there's some really great recordings on Still Cruising. I mean, Somewhere Near Japan kicks my ass.
Is
It's just
Iconic Don
Irving
Gold-
Azoff.
Irving Azoff? That's who it
Yeah.
is.
So I don't know if there's, even if they're a part of the conversation as to why. You know, but there's a lot of fans out there who really would like to see Still Cruising re-released and some Summer in Paradise re-released because it got, you know, but then, you know, as Paul was keen to point out, you know, there's a lot of and then there's the other faction that says, well, Brian's not on Summer in Paradise. Well, you know, whatever. But it is about the music, and there's some beautiful moments on Summer in Paradise. Strange Things Happen, Island Fever, Carl, Lahaina, Aloha. I mean, I'll tell you what kills me about Lahaina, Aloha, because we were just talking about Carl passing, is Carl sings the lyric, you know, I wanna, but I can't stay.
Mm. Wow. What year did that album come out?
92.
Wow.
So it's like, I know there was no connection between the two, but now when I hear that song and I hear that voice sing those words,
Yeah, I can get that.
it's, you know, I wanna, but I can't stay.
Hey,
Mm.
Paul,
Yes.
what album do you like to put on when you're in the car?
Um, it varies. Um, Sometimes I'll do the 50th anniversary live album.
The what?
The
50th anniversary live. Yeah.
right. Or I'll do sometimes it might be Pet Sounds. Or it just varies.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that the great thing about
I usually listen to the live album.
Okay. Isn't that the great thing about that catalog, though? That you can be in any mood and you have an album for it.
Right.
You're in
Yeah.
you're in rhythm and blues mood. Well, okay, grab Wild Honey. You're in a, you know, kind of maybe you're moody. So maybe you want Pet Sounds, maybe you want Friends. You're in a
Mhm.
mood to just rock out and drive fast in your car and cruise. Well, you can take any of the early 60s albums. You can take
Yeah.
Still Cruisin', which was an 89 album, and you can have
Mhm.
that feeling, you know. And it's just, it's amazing that they have such a versatile, um, eclectic songbook.
Yeah, they're lucky that way. They've got a lot to draw from. Um, yeah, I hope Brian, I mean, that was a great thing about having Brian go out solo and also having Mike and Bruce go out is you could go hear the hits anytime you wanted to with Mike and Bruce. And then if you wanted to take a chance on hearing some deeper cuts, you could go see Brian. And if you were in Europe with Mike and Bruce, you would definitely hear some deeper cuts over there.
Right. Now, I just saw Mike and Bruce when they were here with the symphony.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they did the only thing different on that set list they did here today. And that was really neat
Oh,
to see live from them.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a cool chart for the symphony. It's powerful.
yeah.
Was that in Nashville, Paul?
Yes, it was.
Yeah. Um,
I was
what?
going to say, I've always likened Brian's shows to art exhibits
Oh, wow.
because that's what I
Wow.
feel like I'm going to watch the painting. And when I go to Mike and Bruce shows, it's like I'm going to, and I have fun at Brian's shows. Don't get me wrong, but Mike and Bruce shows to me are more about the entertainment of the music. That they're
Mhm.
they're performing the painter's music, and they were painters in the music too. But for Brian, when I go watch Brian, because he's not nearly as animated or moves about the stage like Mike and Bruce do,
Mhm.
I feel like I'm more going to going to the opening of an art exhibit and getting to watch the painter and his and all his colorful magistry, if you will.
Wow. Wow.
Right. And I went and saw him with the symphony because I was like, well, I've always wanted to see. I've seen Brian with the symphony. I was like, well, I've always wanted to see, Mike and Bruce with them. Um, and then I went and saw them. Let's see, was October. So I went and saw them back in. I saw them in August. I drove down to Cincinnati, and saw them at the Hard Rock. And I have to say, I've been to a lot, but I have to say that was one of the best ones I've ever been to.
Wow. Nice. And this was recently?
Yeah, it was. Yes, it was just back in August.
Nice. Good. Yeah. Yep. They got some new guys in the band. And it's good to hear that they were sounding good. That's awesome. What about like, do you like seeing them indoors or outdoors better, sound wise?
I guess probably indoors. Um, like the one in August was outdoors. That's the first time I've seen them since Starwood. That's been an outdoor concert.
Mm-hmm.
Um, uh, but yeah, I like to go to both. I like indoor and outdoor. To me, the the harmonies are they're good no matter where you hear them at.
I love the harmonies too, Paul. It's my favorite part.
And Randell, I'll ask you a question. When you performed with the guys, what song did you enjoy singing the most?
Like harmony or lead vocal?
Lead, and so that's two questions then. Lead and then backing vocal.
Wow. You can't really count Hearts Are Full of Spring as it's that's a group vocal. Everyone's singing on that all the time. So maybe harmony vocal, I'll choose that one. And then just off the top of my head, Warmth of the Sun for times I got to sing that one.
Mm-hmm. Mhm.
Such a beautiful song. Man, that's a beautiful song.
What gave you what presented the greatest challenge when you first joined the touring group that where you had to kind of when you were assigned a vocal, whether it be lead or more so backing, where you knew you had to marry your voice with others?
Um, I don't know. I had been doing at least the part of the catalog that, well, in '83, I didn't sing a note, because everybody was alive and they had all the vocals covered. Um, but later on, I don't know, David, there's, I had been doing it for a while because of Mike's solo album and that tour and all that. So I was
Oh yeah.
You want to part?
pretty used to the parts by the time I started singing with
Oh,
those
I'm
guys.
going.
Mhm.
What's going on, Paul?
Oh, I'm thinking I gotta take my little one to soccer practice.
Oh yeah? How old is he?
He is he's fixing to be 4 at the end of October, and then I have
No kidding.
my oldest ones are 20, and then I have one fixed to be 19 Saturday.
20. You don't look at a day over 15. Talking about 20.
Yeah. I was trying to do the math on you being 18 at your first Beach Boys show, and it wasn't working out. You got
Oh,
just
4-year-old who
young
plays
looking
soccer.
kids.
Wow. That's something.
Nice. Well, he's lucky he got passed down those young looking genes from his dad.
That's right. That's right.
Right
Well,
on.
Paul, if you need to go, we'll let you go.
Okay.
Appreciate you hopping on, and Randell, thank you.
Yeah, man. I think.
I think we. I think he's
Yeah.
out. Oh, there he
Oh,
is.
there he is. Right on.
All right, Paul. Well, take care.
All right.
Thanks.
All right,
Thanks
see
for
ya.
doing this.
I
Yeah,
hope
no
your son
problem.
has a
Y'all.
kick at soccer.
All right, thank y'all.
All right. Take care, you guys.
Thanks.
All right,
Adios.
okay. All right, bye.